Kevin, thank you for being here. It's snowing in Montreal.
No problem.
Can you tell us what happened to you, please?
So my story is that I was wandering around with some friends near some train track areas. The thing that me and my friends do is that we like to explore little areas because we're in the middle of high school and we like to do like fun random little things. And we had previously adventured along other different paths. This one time we went to a train bridge which had like some paths and stuff that my friend knew about, so we wandered about there. I personally like to just climb things because that's like a thing that I'm really into and enjoy doing. So as soon as we went across like this train track, I saw a bridge, and my first instinct was to just climb it, just because as a thing that I did. I just like to climb things.
So you climbed the train bridge?
Yeah.
And what happened then?
Well, about like a few seconds into climbing it, I started hanging from it, and then, at least from my perspective, everything just cut to black. And then all of a sudden, I just remembered myself in a sort of a dream state. And then all of a sudden, I remember just waking up in an immense amount of pain. And at some point, friends were just trying to calm me down, and then at some point, the ambulance and such came, and they sort of let me know what happened, and that I was actually electrocuted with 25,000 volts.
That's right. I understand you actually fell off the train bridge, landed on a live 25,000 volt electrical circuit, and you suffered third-degree burns over what percentage of your body?
Like over 75%. Yeah.
All right. And can you tell me how it was that you came to receive skin derived from stem cells?
I believe it was mainly off the fact that because so much of my body had been burned up, I received like third-degree burns across over 75%, as well as fourth degree on my left leg. And because there's usually the normal procedure would be to take skin grafts off of good parts of my body, but the only good parts of my body with good skin was on my right leg and on my scalp. But of course, the right leg and the scalp isn't enough area to cover the rest of my body, so they had to look into alternative methods to get like a skin replacement, and that's where they looked towards the lamellar skin from Loex.
So they actually grew new skin for you. And can you tell us the process of installing that new skin on your body?
Well, from what I learned, it was basically because it takes time for these. They had to take skin samples from me, and the process is that they take those skin samples and they grow it in their labs, so that they can get a new skin, which is derived from my own skin. So it's a bit more compatible with me. But because that takes a bit of time, they had to, while covering some of my body with my own skin grafts, such as like the ones on my arm over here, these little like perforations and dots, this is my own skin. Because it takes time for it to grow, they had to cover the rest of my body with cadaver skin. So while like skin samples were growing and they were able to deliver it, like one piece at a time, they would replace the cadaver skin with like the lamellar skin, and it would just be like these small squares about like an inch by inch size, so a lot of different little patches here and there.
And how long did this whole process take?
I would say about 5 or so months, I can't recall exactly, but that's the amount of time I remember staying in the hospital at Hotel Dieu.
And how has that affected you?
I mean, of course, like it wasn't a fun experience being in the hospital and going through all the different surgeries and stuff, and going through like all these, just being like pumped full of all these different like chemicals and drugs and stuff just to, to go through the process and the surgeries. So that kind of like messed with like my brain a little bit. Luckily, everything's like back to normal. But on the brighter side of things, I found that like I met a lot of really nice people, and like the nurses and the doctors who managed to help me out. And it was just like, I don't know, it just made me want to like focus more on like continuing my life.
I'd like to ask you just one final question. When you're a person struck by a serious illness or a serious accident, it's really black at the beginning. You said you woke up in the hospital and you were in incredible pain. And you went through this ordeal. You were tremendously aided by science.
Of course.
You had the benefit of treatments that weren't available a few years ago. And you've returned to a life that will hopefully be normal. What advice would you give to someone who experiences an accident like yours?
I think the thing that's been keeping me going, and like I've been able to like summarize it down to one word, which is the word continue. To not like focus too much on all these different things, because you can be brought down really easily by like the depression and all that. And I find that like that the whole idea of, for me, was just like trying to get back to the normal life, and the only way to get back to the normal life was just to continue and go with the process of to go with the surgeries, and then after the surgeries, when I was in rehab, to go with like the whole process of rehabilitating myself physically back to my condition, because it would be the fastest way out, or fastest way to getting back to normal.
I like to say that life is really important, life is irreplaceable, and we need to continue.
Of course.
You can never give up.
Never. So continue.
I think you're the beneficiary of incredible scientific achievements, you know, in fact affected by people like the people watching this video. So I wish you luck and continue on with your recovery.
Thank you.